Citystyle. We're here at the Radio Drive Fire Station talking to Kevin Lynch and the EMS division. Woodbury's emergency medical services have some of the best response times in the state, thanks to ambulances like this and paramedics like Kevin Lynch here. Hey Kevin, how's it going?
Good, how you doing today, Emma?
Good, thank you. So I've heard this is one of the newest ambulances here at the city of Woodbury. Can you tell me what makes it unique?
Yeah, one of the nice things is it's new, right? So we've got all the newer technologies in it. So one of the biggest decision factors for us, though, was that it's just a lot more safe for the providers that are in it, as well as our patients. These have a higher crash test ratings than our old ones, obviously. And then the other thing is that we put stuff like this in it, which is a automatic stretcher loader. We can put patients in. It saves our backs. So we don't have to worry about bending over and doing that and putting a lot of wear and tear on our body. Let's let the ambulance do all that work for us.
Sounds like that's a great addition. So what kinds of training do you need to become an EMS?
Oh, that's a fun one. So I was taken off the streets here for part of my training. That training lasted about 15 to 18 months, and that's full time. So typically our EMTs are trained for about 4 months, but the paramedics, they have a higher advanced set of skills. So we're doing some surgical stuff, we're pushing medications, we're making the bigger decisions. So with that, of course, comes the advanced training.
Can you tell me why you wanted to become a paramedic?
Yeah, I joined the department to become a firefighter, and with that came the EMS component, right? That's the majority of our calls. We're running, 80 to 90% medicals these days. So I'm personally that kind of person who likes to know a little bit more, and, as an EMT, I kind of found myself wondering why. Why are we doing this? How else can I help the patient? Sometimes I felt that I didn't have enough training, and I could be doing more. So that was my personal drive to do that, was to get the advanced education so I could help out more.
So let's get back to the response times. They're one of the quickest in the state. So what does the department excel at here at the city of Woodbury?
I think the thing that we kind of hang our hats on a lot right now is this cross-training that we do. It's excellent. We have some police officers that are out there on the streets as paramedics, and they're able to get there. So picture them on the side of the road, issuing maybe a traffic citation, but then emergency medical comes in and we get to go join up with them on scene. So they could be right down the street from that emergency. They're already starting to deliver that first medical care that the patient would need, and they can get a lot quicker through them.
Well, thanks for showing me the new ambulance, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and learning about it. Another thing we like to do is teach residents CPR. Would you like to learn?
Absolutely. We'll do that right after Megan Beck gives us our local election results and our Woodbury update.
Thanks, Emma. This election day, Woodbury residents went to the polls and cast their votes for mayor and 2 city council seats, along with other local races. In the mayor's race, Ann Burt received 48% of the vote and will become our next mayor. Economic Development Commission member Jennifer Santini and Planning Commission member Steve Morris were elected to the city council. The 3 new council members will be sworn into the office in January. In other local races, Stan Kowalski was re-elected to the Washington County Board serving District 2. At the state level, Tu Zhang will be your next state representative for District 53A, and Steve Sandell will represent 53B. Congratulations to all the winners, and thanks to everyone who came out to vote. Before this year's election, 3 longtime members of City Council decided not to run for re-election. The city is holding a celebration to honor Mary Giuliani Stevens, Julie Oates, and Christopher Burns for their dedication to Woodbury. These 3 council members have served together for more than 8 years, and Mary and Julie have served together for the past 12 years. The public is invited to come to Central Park and share in our gratitude on December 19th. There will be a reception at 6 p.m., followed by a program at 7:30 p.m. Woodbury's city budget for 2019 proposes a $31 increase in city taxes on the median value home next year. Under the proposed city budget, the average homeowner receives police and fire protection, snow plowing and street maintenance, sewer service, park development and maintenance, recreational programs and facilities, and many other services for about $87 per month. More information about the proposed 2019 city budget is available on the Woodbury website at woodburymn.gov/budget. A public forum for the proposed budget is being held during the council meeting at City Hall on December 12th. If you want a behind-the-scenes look at the inner workings of City of Woodbury, then sign up for this year's Woodbury Citizens Academy. The Academy features 8 informational sessions that show how the City of Woodbury works to serve the community. During the Academy, participants will get the opportunity to tour many departments, including Public Works and Public Safety. Weekly sessions begin in February and end in March. Participation is limited, but registration is currently available. Those interested can contact Claudia Millington at the Woodbury Community Foundation. We all need to prepare for the winter season, and you can do so by following these winter rules. Residents and guests are not allowed to park on city streets between 2 and 6 a.m. and anytime 2 or more inches of snow have accumulated. This allows plow drivers to completely clear the street. Questions about the winter parking regulations or snow removal procedures can be directed to Public Works. Residents are also required to clear snow and ice from public walkways within 12 hours after a snowstorm. We would also like to encourage residents to adopt a nearby fire hydrant by keeping it clear of snow. This will help the Public Safety Department do their job in an emergency. After removing the snow, take a picture and email it to me, and you'll be honored on social media as a hydrant hero. Renovations to Ojibwe Park have officially begun. Last week, several members of the Parks Division made quick work dismantling and removing the old playground equipment. The playground has been donated to the group Kids Around the World. This organization plans to recycle the playground by reassembling it in a developing country. After standing for more than 44 years, the Woodbury Park building came down. A new building will take its place that will include many amenities to benefit the recreation programs and rentals. The park renovation project is expected to be completed by next summer. Woodbury Parks and Recreation is preparing for winter by offering some fun programs for residents of all ages. You can get all the information in their new winter spring brochure. The brochure is available at City Hall, Central Park, and Healthy Sports Center. You can also browse the brochure and register for events on the city's website. Online registration begins November 28th. Come out and celebrate winter at Healthy Sports Center during the Winter Wonderland in Woodbury Carnival and Rink Celebration. Families can enjoy carnival games, live choir music, and free ice skating on the outdoor rink. Tickets to the carnival games will be sold on site, and rental skates are available for $6. This free event takes place December 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. And finally, if you're looking for plans for New Year's Eve, the City of Woodbury has you covered. On December 31st, Healthy Sports Center will host the New Year's Eve family celebration from 6 to 9 p.m. Families can enjoy music, games, bounce houses, indoor and outdoor skating, and much more. There will even be an early countdown to the new year. Tickets are available for $10 per person if pre-registered and $12 per person at the door if available. You can register online at woodburyrecreation.com. And that's all for your Woodbury City update. Now back to Emma with the EMS division.
Thanks, Megan. We're here in the public safety training room about to learn hands-only CPR. So can you show me how it's done here, Kevin?
Yeah, so, the nice thing about hands-only CPR is it's one simple thing that we need to do, which is we just need to start delivering compressions for the patient. So essentially what we teach people is just go ahead and interlock your fingers like this.
Does it matter which one goes?
No, doesn't matter. If you're left-handed, right-handed, that's kind of a preference issue for the person.
Okay.
You kind of find the middle portion of their breastbone, the lower portion there, just underneath the middle. It usually falls within that mid-chest area right here for most people. And then all we need to do is we just need to, like I said, push down hard and fast. We want to go about 100 to 120 beats per minute. Okay. So one of the things that the American Heart Association has tried to get people to, a helpful reminder is the song "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. Mm-hmm. That's a song that's about 100 beats per minute. So get up nice and tight on them. You want to push hard and fast on them. Like I said, that 100 to 120 beats per minute, and you want to compress down a few inches here to make sure you're doing it right. We just want to make sure we're compressing good enough, because then what that's going to do is that's going to help the blood in our body. Mm-hmm. What happens when people go into cardiac arrest and why CPR is so important is we want to push that blood around to provide oxygen for all those vital organs. So the quicker we can get there, the quicker we can push on the chest and disperse that blood, the better.
When I was doing the compressions, it's tiring. Do you have a way that every couple minutes you're switching out people if there's other people in the room, or how does that usually work?
That's a great question. We do about every 2 minutes or every 5 cycles.
So why is there a new method that doesn't include that breathing element?
Well, again, the most important thing is we want to get that blood circulating so it can deliver the oxygen that's already in their body to the rest of those organs. So under the old system, there were a few more steps, and that's intimidating to some people. Not to mention, when you have to breathe for somebody you don't know, it can be a little awkward. So nice and simple, push hard and fast, and that's all we're doing these days.
You started the program Take Heart Woodbury a few years ago. How many residents have been trained in CPR? Yeah,
since we've started with this big push, we're probably approaching 14,000 or a little over that number. It's great. We're hitting up schools, church groups, and other residents that want to, take part in becoming trained in this.
Let's say I'm one of those residents. How can I get involved?
So I would say the best way to do that is just to Google Take Heart Woodbury. Otherwise, I'm sure that if they stumble upon our website, they can find the information on there or a phone number to contact us up here, and we can steer them in the right direction.
Thanks, Kevin, for showing me this life-saving skill.
Yeah, you are very welcome. You know, it's definitely a skill you want to have, but hopefully never have to use.
I'm looking forward to learning more about the EMS division when we come right back with more Woodbury Citystyle.
Welcome to the Rec Zone. I'm John Hagan.
And I'm Elizabeth Owens. Take part in the Winter Wonderland at Health East Sports Center on Sunday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. We will light up the outdoor rink for the season, play carnival games, and enjoy free outdoor skating.
Santa will be taking a short break from his seasonal duties to help make some cookies and do some crafts. He will be arriving at Eagle Valley Golf Course the morning of December 1st.
Mrs. Claus is ready to help you prepare for Santa Claus's arrival by making fun crafts and reindeer food. This new event takes place at Eagle Valley Golf Course on Saturday, December 8th.
End your year at the Health East Sports Center. Woodbury Parks and Recreation will be hosting its annual New Year's Eve family celebration from 6 to 9 p.m. on December 31st. This event sells out, so make sure that you pre-register.
You can register for these programs and more by logging on to woodburyrecreation.com or by calling 651-714-3583. That's all from the Rec Zone. I'm Elizabeth Owens.
And I'm John Hagan.
Welcome back. Public safety provides a vital service to our community. Any young adults interested in learning more about the department should consider joining the Woodbury Fire Explorers program.
So the Woodbury Explorer programs is an opportunity for 14 to 20-year-olds to join on. They become an explorer. The quick version of it is they're basically a junior firefighter. They get to be in the facilities, they get to see how the fire department operates. In Woodbury it's nice because they get to see both the fire and the EMS side.
We'll go out to specific places, teach people in our community about what Woodbury Fire and EMS is all about. We also train every Monday night to get ready for calls, events, anything that could be coming up in the next week or so, and extend our knowledge in the fire and EMS.
Last Monday we did donning, which is where you put your gear on and you have to do it in less than 2 minutes. And then after you have it all on, either Blake or I will check. If your buckles aren't buttoned, you get 5 seconds off. So everything you don't have done, you get 5 seconds added onto your time.
We're supposed to have about under 2 minutes, so where we grab our stuff, put everything on, and get ready to go in case there's a fire call. That's a lot of stuff. It's actually very hard for a lot of people to do.
We worked with the hoses, which was a first time for pretty much all of us. We extended them, we got to spray the hose, which was kind of cool. Kind of feel like you're an actual firefighter doing that. It was just a good experience to have. So you can say oh, hey, I've done this. And a lot of other kids can't say they've done stuff like this.
Rode a couple shifts on an ambulance, kind of fell in love from there, and the rest was history, I guess. Once I came up here, became a fire explorer and increased my knowledge and drive to be a firefighter in general, starting with the post.
My father was a police officer for 26 years. I grew up in a family of cops and soldiers, so naturally I've been a little bit more drawn to medical or police different things. And I wanted to go into the HPSP program for the Army to become a doctor.
I want to become a paramedic down the road, so it's just another thing under my belt to help me get to where I want to be in life.
Good job, there you go. Woo! I'm all that. It's a great time for them to get to know each other, and they're spending that time together, and they all have that common goal they're working towards, usually of the state fair. So a lot of strong bonds that you see being made here.
Made good friends with everybody here, and especially getting that practical experience. It's always a good time, and it's a very easy space to learn in.
I think it's a great opportunity for kids who want to go into firefighting or the medic field to come join our team and learn with us.
You can find more information on the Police and Fire Explorers on the city's website. All right, Kevin, we're back here. We have our friend Hal. Can you tell me more about him?
Yes. Hal is a fantastic piece of equipment. He's part of our training department. Hal is a mannequin that we can automate. We can make him breathe. We can make his chest rise. We can give him complaints. Hal allows us to perform skills on him that we can't perform on each other during training. I don't think you'd like it if I probably started poking you with needles or shoved tubes down your throat to help you breathe.
Thank you.
So that's the luxury we have with Hal, is we are able to do things with him that we aren't able to do in a normal setting when we're in training mode. So.
All right, well, are we going to run a scenario here?
I think it's only appropriate, right? So here's Hal. We walk into him, and usually what we do is we just kind of walk in and introduce ourselves to the patient and just start a normal conversation, right? We want to know what's wrong. So how about you take over the lead here and go right ahead.
So do you usually introduce yourself?
I do, you know. And the other thing is we have this tablet, and this allows me to automate him and do that, so he can talk to you back. So let's try a couple here. Let's see what's going on with Hal today.
All right. Hi, sir. I'm here with the Woodbury Public Safety Department. My name is Emma. What seems to be the problem tonight?
My chest hurts. It's like there's an elephant standing on my chest.
That seems pretty serious.
My heart is pounding.
So how long have you been having these symptoms?
Since last night.
Seems like it's a long time. I might be having a heart attack here, sir. So.
And all of a sudden, Emma, this is usually what happens. When we're in training mode, something changes. All of a sudden we say, oh no, Hal stopped breathing on you. We talked a little bit earlier about CPR and everything else. We're going to go ahead and do that, and let's help save his life. We could probably check for a pulse real quick. Do you feel one?
I do not feel a pulse.
Alrighty, then I think it's probably a really good time to put that CPR we practiced a little bit earlier into good use. So go ahead and start with those compressions. You're doing good. We just want to speed it up just a little bit quicker. We want to go about 100 to 120 per minute. Alrighty, Emma, we'll look at that. Looks like he's awake again. His eyes are open and he's blinking. So let's go ahead and check for a pulse and see how well you did.
Find the spot here.
Sounds good.
Well, looks like he's back.
Yeah. Hal, how you doing right now?
I feel fine.
Well, Emma, looks like we brought him back. He's alive again and he's doing okay. You saved him. Good job.
Great. So how realistic is this?
As far as the realistic of this training goes, so we can make them pretty realistic. We can give him complaints. We can change his skin color. The realisticness of it is, for those providers to pick up on those clues that we're throwing them, to have them assess and diagnose the patients. So.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the lesson and everything I learned today.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
So you use Hal to prepare for real-life emergencies, such as the one that happened to Julie Connor of Hudson, Wisconsin. She might not have survived if it hadn't been for the quick response of the Woodbury EMS.
Yeah, I think that's why it's not quite.
When lasagna is on the menu, Julie Connor's family makes the trip to Hudson, Wisconsin.
Not quite done lasagna yet.
From all around the Twin Cities. It seems like an ordinary dinner, one that the average family might take for granted. But not this family.
It was January 18th, 2017, and I was working with a trainer at Lifetime Fitness. Her name is Abby. It was maybe a minute or so that I started with her right there, and what she tells me is I looked at her and reached for her, and she caught me, and I said, "Oh, Abby," or something to that nature, and just totally collapsed.
Thinking quickly, the trainer called 911, triggering a response from Woodbury Public Safety.
Call came in as a cardiac arrest. A lot of times we get those calls, and they could be a diabetic reaction. It could be that somebody just worked out too hard and we're just dehydrated and they passed out. We still treat it as a cardiac arrest and go from there.
Woodbury's public safety system is set up so that the nearest officers can respond during any crisis. 2 police officers, Sergeant Chris Donahoe and Officer Chris Ployhart, were the first on the scene. They found Julie in full cardiac arrest.
As an officer, you don't get a lot of these calls because the paramedics deal with the majority of the medicals. But when you hear someone's down, a lot of times officers will go to assist in case it is a cardiac arrest, because Having been on so many of them, you know how much it entails.
Sergeant Donahoe, who has training as a paramedic, began leading operations.
You could see a crowd had gathered, kind of directed me to where she was, and got there and did a quick assessment, checked for breathing, checked for pulse, didn't find any.
The officer's first priority was to start the heart.
Officer Ployhart arrived shortly thereafter. Seeing that there wasn't any active breathing or a feelable pulse, I directed him to do chest compressions to get the oxygen that was already in her system recirculating again.
Shortly after, Woodbury EMS arrived. Paramedic Val Huerta led the team of responders trying to save Julie's life. Through the use of meds, an AED, and Lucas device, Julie's heart began to pump, but she was still not responding.
The medics and everyone that was there in the crew were to talk about, this is really odd. We come to find out later that she had a brain bleed, which then in turn caused a cardiac arrest, which is the reason why we were able to bring her back so quickly. It really wasn't a heart problem, it was a brain problem that caused her heart to stop. So by the quick response of doing CPR, getting the medication in her, and then shocking her, we were able to get her heart going again.
The paramedics loaded Julie into the ambulance. Recognizing the serious situation she was in, they traveled to Regions Hospital, which is better equipped to handle brain injuries. As the ambulance left, Julie's son Nathan was called by Lifetime Fitness to explain what was happening.
And they just asked if I had gotten a call from them yet. And I said I hadn't, but I wasn't really interested in renewing my membership because I had been a member there. And he said, no, this is about Julie Connor. And I said, okay. And he said, we're calling to let you know that Julie Connor collapsed at the gym this morning while she was working out.
Nathan raced to the hospital, arriving at the same time as Julie.
I actually opened the doors on the ambulance before they were even ready to open them. You know, it's a terrifying sight to see somebody you love in that bad a shape. And there's kind of silence for the first second when I opened those doors, and then I was fully expecting somebody to say, you can't be here, or we need you to get out of the way. And one of the EMTs just looked at me and he said,
okay, we got a pulse back. All that's good, and we're just doing everything we can.
Grab her arm and help us wheel her inside. And there was something about those words that he said that were really calming and really reassuring. But mostly it was just, I could tell how much those guys cared about her and about what they were doing.
Although she was at the hospital, she wasn't out of the woods yet.
I kept bugging that doctor for the half hour, the 45 minutes we were in the emergency room, you know, what are our chances? What can we do? Is there anything else we can do? And he said, nope, we just got to get a CT scan, but your mom's definitely one of the sickest people in the hospital right now. And, you know, it's pretty apparent that our chances weren't great and that it was going to be a long haul.
Her outcome looked grim. Only about 7% of people who suffer ruptured aneurysms survive. On life support, Julie was rushed in for emergency brain surgery in a last-ditch effort to save her life. She underwent a second surgery in the evening to put drains in her skull to relieve the pressure on the brain. Miraculously, she survived.
I don't remember ever feeling any of that. I think I asked Nate a couple times when I finally got extubated with the ventilator and whatnot if I was dying. And he goes, no, you've already done that a couple times. So that was a good response.
Weeks of therapy were ahead of her, but through it all, her children and grandchildren were there for her. On April 3rd, 2017, for the first time since the incident, Julie made a return to Woodbury, this time to meet the men that saved her life.
You know, I've been doing this job just a little over 20 years now, and I've never had success with saving a patient. And it was just cool to see, you know, her come back and like, she's living life, she's happy, her son's super happy. So it was a cool experience.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear from the people that want to come back and thank us. We don't expect people to come back and thank us. It's our job, just like it's someone's job to be working at Wells Fargo today. It's our job. That's what we get paid for. This is what we do. This is the line of duty that we decided to do.
To the officers of the Public Safety Department, it's all in a day's work. To the family of Julie Connor, it's the work of extraordinary people.
I do have a different feeling now when I see an ambulance with its lights on the highway. And just makes you think about the people that are in there, both people that are having a really tough day, and also the heroes that are in there, trying their best to save a life that day. And it really makes you look at ambulances in a different way after that experience.
So, tonight's menu includes lasagna, salad, and bread. But it also includes an ingredient that could have been lost forever a year ago. The love of a mother, a grandmother, and a friend.
Everything that they did for me was just amazing. And then to have the outcome I had, it couldn't have been better, honestly, it couldn't have. That team set me up for success. So I'm very grateful.
We want to thank Julie for sharing her story with us. Residents have been excited about the opening of the Third Act Brewery since it broke ground last spring. We took a behind-the-scenes tour and our development plan.
We're here outside of the Third Act Craft Brewing, the much anticipated first brewery in Woodbury. We're gonna go inside and check it out.
Hey Eric, how you doing?
Hi Steve.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Tell me, why did you decide to open up your brewery here in Woodbury?
Didn't actually target Woodbury. I actually went to a map of the Twin Cities and put little electronic red dots where every brewery in town were. There's this huge opening on the east side, and right in the middle of that opening was Woodbury. And so I thought, why not? I live in Woodbury, so it's a underserved area. Demographically, it has just about everything you need for a brewery, but there's not one for 10 miles. A no-brainer to me to fill that niche.
Well, I think we've got some thirsty residents. Tell me more about the name Third Act.
Well, one day I decided to go for a walk in the neighborhood to try to clear my head and come up with more names. And as I'm walking, I'm going, this is your third act, you better get it right. And that's because this would be my third career. And I said, I could work with that. And then in talking to my wife, Debbie, later, we realized it'd be her third career too. And so we thought, well, okay, we got something rolling here. So 2 third acts. So now we're off and running with Third Act, and we'll have some fun with it while we're here. Beer names and events and stuff would be based on movies.
Well, it looks like you've got your third act right after walking in here. It looks great.
Yeah, it's just turned out good. I was wondering about a month ago, but now it looks good.
I want to see more.
Yeah.
Show me a little more.
Yeah, sure. Where do you want to start?
I think let's see where the beer is made.
All right, let's go.
Steve, I got to say the visuals of having the fermenting tanks being able to be seen from outside is so cool. Mm-hmm. Tell us, how many beers are you going to have on site?
Well, at any given time, we're going to have 8 taps that come directly from the holding tanks, and maybe 4 extras that come from either kegs or barrels, firkins, other things. So up to 12. We have over 60 recipes that we're going to run through all these beers, with the goal being the most eclectic beer collection in the Twin Cities for a brewery. That's our target anyway.
How often do you think that you will change over beers?
Well, that's a good one. The faster you drink it, the quicker we'll change it. But I'm thinking if anybody came any 2 months in a row, for sure there's not going to be the same beers. People who frequent here, if they keep coming, they will have more experience with more different types of beer than most anybody else in the Twin Cities.
So what beers are you most excited with? What beers do you think the public are going to be most excited about?
The public in general now likes IPAs, but we're going to do some different things with our IPAs. Even the first bunch out, we have a West Coast IPA that's very good, what I've tasted so far. Then we're going to have a Blood Orange IPA, which is a little twist on that. For those who don't like hops, we're going to have some Kolsch's, which are German ales. If you come all year, you're going to drink over 60 distinctly different beers.
Oh, that's fantastic. It sounds like a place that our residents are going to be able to enjoy all year round.
Yes, absolutely.
So we've heard a lot about the beer, really exciting. You also mentioned this is going to be family friendly.
Yes.
So you've got some food options as well. Can we take a look at the kitchen and see what type of food options you're going to have?
Yeah, sure, let's go.
Well, clearly you guys have the beer down. I see you've got a brick oven. Tell me more about what's on the menu.
Well, we decided to go with a fairly simple menu because the focus here is on the beer. We are a brewery, not a restaurant, but we knew people like to have some food to eat, while you're having a beer. So we picked pizza and pretzels. What's better to have with beer? So we got a brick-fired oven for the pizza, so it'll be Neapolitan style. And then we'll have pretzels. The jumbo will come with 3 different sauces, and the medium will come with 1 sauce. And I'll tell you, my wife, my daughter, and I tried to eat one of the jumbo pretzels the other night. We were done with dinner. I mean, these things are big. They will fill you up.
So because this is such a kid-friendly place, tell us about other beverages that you have for the little ones.
Other beverages can be actually really cool. We were fortunate enough to find a local Twin Cities out of Arden Hills group that makes homemade pop. It's called Northern Soda, and they're going to partner with us and give us Northern Soda, a homemade pop, whether it be cherry, grapefruit, blueberry. One of the coolest things they're going to do for us, we're going to supply them the kegs, but they're going to send us back kegs of root beer. So right here, we'll be pouring root beer out of kegs. But on top of that, right here, we'll be serving ice cream in that root beer to make a root beer float. So the kids will be able to get a root beer float as well. You have to have something for kids here, so they're not just sitting here watching their parents drink beer.
Well, it sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun with the opening of this, and you're going to have a lot of fun in this as this continues.
Yeah, well, I'm telling everybody that comes in, customers, employees, vendors, 2 things only: be safe and have fun. We're here too much to not have fun, so it's going to be a fun place.
Well, the third act is going to be the fun act, and that's going to be really fun for everyone involved.
I think so. That's the key word.
Well, clearly, Steve, you have a unique, exciting thing going on here. Anything else you want to tell the residents of Woodbury and your customers at large?
Yeah, I think if you want a place where you can come with your kids, with your family, play games, hang out, don't feel like you're rushed, this is the place to come. I mean, we're serving very good beer, different varieties of beer. You'll taste many beers you can't get anywhere else. But I'm mostly looking for the family atmosphere, the dialogue people can have just sitting around like an English pub and get to know everybody and have fun. Don't rush yourself, have fun. That's basically what kind of place it's going to be.
Well, on behalf of the residents and the City Council and Woodbury staff, I want to thank you for the investment and wish you the best in the future.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, be fun.
Thank you, Deb and Steve, for giving us the tour of the brewery. And thank you, Kevin, for taking some time today and showing me your training.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming out, showing your interest, and more importantly, saving Hal so me and my partners can use them for future trainings.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was really fun. Thank you for watching this edition of Woodbury Citystyle. We'll see you next time.